Hi, I'm Shea, and this video is meant for people that are struggling with HG, or maybe someone that you care about is struggling with HG, Hyperemesis Gravidarum. I don't know if I'm pronouncing that correctly, but you know what I'm talking about if you're going through it. First off, I just wanted to say that I am so sorry you are experiencing this right now. Can I just say how strong and incredible you actually are? You might not feel like it, but I guarantee you, you are so strong for making it this far. Each day you get through is just that much stronger and that much more amazing and an incredible mama you are. You've got this. You can do this. As much as it feels so overwhelming some days and so lonely and scary, you can do this. You will get through this. I promise you. So I am here today in this video to tell you and show you that you are going to be okay. I'm here to actually show you 5 months later that it was all worth it for me and how I got through it. When I was dealing with HG, I never really heard or saw the after of HG, when the baby's actually born. And it is so beautiful afterwards. So I wanted to give you that little bit of encouragement and let you know that it does not last forever. Now let's get into what's happening now 5 months later and how I feel about HG. I did film a video prior to this while I was pregnant and going through it all. I now have a 5-month-old baby, and now that I'm out of that craziness that I was dealing with, I wanted to do kind of like a follow-up video and talk about the after, because there is a light at the end of the tunnel, even though it doesn't feel like it right now. I promise you this will not last forever. I know it doesn't feel like that right now, but it doesn't last forever, and looking back now, it's a lot. And I just wanted to say how strong you actually are for going through it. You might not feel like you're strong, you might feel like you are suffering, and I'm here to tell you you're doing an amazing job. Keep going. Take it one day at a time. And honestly, for me, taking it one day at a time was still too much, so taking it 1 hour at a time, just to get to that next hour. Try to get a little sip of water in, whatever you possibly can, just to survive through that day. And then just keep doing that day by day. I will leave my first video right here for you to check out of me actually talking about HG when I was in the thick of it. Feel free to watch this one first if you prefer, because now that I've actually gone through it, I have both sides of it, from being in it to the aftermath. Dealing with HG was the scariest, most lonely and difficult time of my entire life. I didn't even know it was a thing. I kind of heard about it with Kate Middleton having it when she was pregnant, and I never thought it would happen to me. I didn't even think it was common. It is so physically hard, but I think for me the emotional part of it was the worst and the scariest, because it's so lonely. No one understood what I was going through. The doctors didn't know what was going on because they were not familiar with it. And it was months and months and months into my pregnancy towards the end that they realized it was HG. And at that point, it was kind of too far gone for me to get any help, because I've already been suffering all the way through. Not only that, but my partner did not understand what was going on. This was his first child, so he's experiencing pregnancy as this, and he thinks this is a normal kind of pregnancy. He's confused. Pregnancy is supposed to be this beautiful thing. And I was in the hospital all the time, not able to get up out of bed to go to the bathroom, nothing. So it was a super lonely time. It definitely put a strain on my relationships with people, and all of that was happening during a pandemic, of all things. So it was extremely lonely. I even talked to my doctor about how I was getting really depressed and a lot of anxiety was coming out of it, and they kind of brushed it off like, oh yeah, you're in a pandemic, it's fine. But it was actually to do with the HG. So if you're feeling any of the things that I just mentioned, that is normal. You are going to be okay. You're not crazy, it's normal. I totally understand you, I see you. I know how lonely it feels when people don't understand what you're going through, and I see you, as well as all of the people that are watching this video see you and understand what you are going through. We are in this together. You are not alone. So definitely feel free to leave a comment down below if you're struggling with HG, to show all of the other mamas who are struggling that they are not alone. When I was struggling with HG, I wanted it all to end. I did not think I would make it through some days. Some nights I would go to sleep thinking, this is it, I'm not waking up in the morning. That's how bad it was for me, and I don't know if you feel that way, and if you do, I'm really, really sorry that you're feeling that way, but I promise you it is not the end. As much as you kind of just want it all to end, it does get better. I promise. Now that I have my beautiful 5-month-old baby, I just can't believe that I went through, it's actually been a year since I started my HG kind of journey because I was pregnant a year ago. And looking at my 5-month-old now, I think, oh my goodness, the year that I went through, but it gave me this beautiful baby. And when I was struggling with HG, everyone was saying, it'll be worth it, you know, like, you're fine, don't worry, it'll be worth it. And that was very much not helpful at the time. But I do want to show you that now that I have gone through it, and 5 months later, someone that has actually gone through it, it is worth it, as much as that's hard to hear right now and hard to understand. From someone that has actually gone through it, I can tell you that you will not regret it later on when you have your baby in your arms. But I know that feels really far out when each day just feels like weeks, and when you're just trying to survive through the day. Does any of that sound familiar to you? Yeah, it's tough. Was I sick throughout my entire pregnancy? Yes. Were there fluffy days? Absolutely. And if you don't know what fluffy day is, kind of in the HG world, a fluffy day is a day where you feel a little better. And I don't mean better as in, yeah, I'm gonna go conquer the day. You feel strong enough to stand up out of your bed on your own to walk to the bathroom without help. You feel strong enough sometimes to actually hold down a single sip of water for that entire day. And though that sounds very extreme to someone that hasn't struggled with HG, to someone that has had HG, you know what I'm talking about when I say some days you literally can't even get one single sip of water down. And it is hard to actually survive. Your body sometimes starts shutting down on you, and that's what mine started doing. But I did have some fluffy days, and those days I was able to get up and go to the bathroom by myself. And I was able to hold down one sip of water that day. So though I was sick the entire pregnancy, I did have a couple days where it did ease off a little bit. And there were also some temporary reliefs that I found that did help a little bit. What helped me temporarily to just make my day a little bit easier when I was really struggling. One of them was if I was in the car on my way to like a doctor's appointment or the hospital or things like that, and I was going to get sick, chewing really minty gum helped me in the way that it was able to hold me off long enough to go get a bag or pull over to the side of the road. Though the gum didn't help me not get sick, it helped me last a couple minutes longer to kind of control it and calm myself down. I was really in my head. I had to almost like do little gulps to just like tell myself like, you're okay, you can hold it. I close my eyes and I would talk to myself in my head, sometimes out loud, you're okay, you're gonna be okay. And that's the biggest thing. A lot of times when I was in the hospital suffering with HG, I had to talk to myself. I was scared out of my mind, like I said, that it was it. And I would have to comfort myself because no one understood what I was going through. So I would sit there with the IVs hooked up to me, all of this medication going into me, nurses running around everywhere, and I was just in my own little world, tunnel vision. You're okay, you're gonna be okay, we're gonna get through the day, it's going to be okay. I would talk to my baby sometimes and say, we're okay, we're gonna get through this, we are okay, I promise, I got you. And these are the things that really kept me going. As silly as it may sound, it really did help me. Now when it comes to medication, they did put me on some medication to help. I was on things like diclectin and different things for acid reflux and just all of the medications. There were so many, I can't even list them. But I wasn't able to keep my medication down because HG, so then I had to take Gravel to keep it down, and they had to give it to me a different way to get me to keep it down, and that was just like so uncomfortable and something I really just wasn't wanting to do for a lot of reasons. I already wasn't feeling well, and doing medication the other way definitely has other kind of side effects that come from it that just kind of made me struggle more with the HG. I don't really want to get into it in this video, but it was a real struggle keeping any medication down. And the medication, again, didn't give me relief to the point where I wasn't sick. So it would be a little tiny bit of relief to just keep it at bay, if that makes sense, and wouldn't be spiking so much that I was sent to the hospital. This did take a little bit to kick in, though. It took a couple weeks for my body to adjust to it, and I was on this medication until I delivered. Lastly, something that helped me with my mental health part of it is I did go to counseling. I know that's not for everybody. I was feeling alone. I was in a pandemic and my partner didn't understand what I was going through. No one understood what I was going through. I did find counseling was really helpful for my mental health part of it. And in fact, afterwards, I had to go back to counseling. I went to a new counselor recently. So now, after the fact, I am back in counseling, trying to deal with kind of like the guilt of everything that I was experiencing and the suffering that I went through. So this is something that was really helpful because I don't want to live my life in fear. And right now, if you ask me if I want another child, do I want another child? Yes. Will I put myself through that again? Probably not. Now, something they don't mention a lot with HG, and I didn't see often, but it is actually something that comes with HG. Of course, you can lose weight. That's pretty common, and I lost a lot of weight with the first few months of my pregnancy. I was down between 17 to 20 pounds. Down from my pre-pregnancy weight. It was crazy. I was losing weight so fast, the doctors were very concerned. And what happened after, which isn't talked about a lot, is I started gaining weight so fast. I ended up gaining over 50 pounds in my pregnancy, HG pregnancy, and my baby was actually born at 9 pounds 11 ounces, my daughter. So my first, she was full term, she was born at 6 pounds. My second, she was overdue a week and a half, but she was 9 pounds and 11 ounces. So the whole pregnancy with HG, they were saying, don't worry, your baby is getting all the nutrition. It is taking all of the nutrition that you have and giving it to your baby. So your baby is okay. As much as you are feeling this, your baby is not. And it was so true. My baby came out big, beautiful, and healthy. So as much as I was struggling, my baby was gaining all of the things that she needed to gain. And that actually made me feel a lot better. 5 months later, I'm here looking at my baby and I'm so thankful for her. I think she is the absolute most beautiful little baby in the world. And again, I'm so thankful that I went through creating her, I guess, as much as it was really, really hard to go through. I am very, very thankful that I have her now. I wanted to leave you with a couple of encouraging quotes. Here are 2 quotes that I read, and I really think that those can be really helpful quotes right now. I'm gonna read these quotes off the paper, so I apologize, but let's get right into it. I fought for life, mine and my child's. I survived the battle. I won the war. I am a Hyperemesis Gravidarum survivor. And people that haven't experienced it might feel like that sounds extreme, but if you have, you know what I'm talking about. You are surviving through it and you will survive. I'm getting chills just thinking about it. You are doing an amazing job. Keep going. One step at a time. You've got this. I just thought that quote was so special. Now this next quote is something I would have found so helpful when I was struggling with HG and wanting to give up. Courage is not having the strength to go on. It is going on when you don't have the strength. Oh my goodness, is that not just HG in a nutshell? So I wanted to leave you off with those last 2 quotes to really let you know that you are doing an amazing job. I know you might feel like giving up, but keep going. You've got this. It doesn't last forever, I promise you. I know it's scary and lonely, and if you need help and you need someone to talk to because you have no one to talk to, feel free to message me. I'm always here to talk. I do have another video that I filmed previously talking about HG and my journey while I was going through it, so if you wanted to check that out, I do go a little more into detail there, but I wanted to show you the aftermath because that's not something I heard about often, and I think it's super encouraging to see later on afterwards, I'm okay, I'm alive, I'm here, my baby is healthy and beautiful, no complications for her, and the aftermath, my body is doing okay. Physically, I'm okay, I'm all here, I'm all intact, and I'm feeling physically and emotionally okay. You've got this. Thank you so much for watching, and I wish you all the best on your journey. Have a great day. Bye.